In this video, we are going to learn how to do custom pagination in the GridView to achieve a better performance in case we have large number of data to display. Or this is also useful in case you want to do SEO friendly pagination in GridView. You must have noticed that when we use the inbuilt functionality of GridView to do pagination, what it does is that it retrieves all the records from the database, and based on the page number you have selected for the GridView, it just displays that page. And that is the problem. If you have thousands of records in the data source of the GridView, then that makes the whole GridView very bulky, because a lot of data comes to the GridView and only 50 records will be displayed if you have set a page size of the GridView to 50. So let me just rephrase the whole thing that I said right now. In case your database is giving 1000 records to the GridView, and you are using inbuilt functionality of pagination, and you have a specified page size of the GridView to 50, then what happens is the whole thousands records come to the GridView, but it only displays the 50 records based on whatever page number you have selected. So in this case, what happens is that unnecessarily we retrieve about 950 records, because you are only showing 50 records out of 1000 records. So this actually consumes the bandwidth in order to retrieve the data from this database to the application, and on top of that it also makes your application slow, because you will have to work with the view state and all other stuffs. So the better way to achieve pagination in GridView is that you can do custom pagination, and custom paginations can be done in the GridView by following a very simple steps, and those steps we are going to see in this video. So for that, let us create a GridView first. So here is the GridView code. Let me copy and paste it to my ASPX page. So here is my code. You can see I am copying it here and then pasting in my ASPX page here. Let me format the selection so that it will look nice, and let me explain this code. Here we have kept a simple GridView auto generate columns equal to false, because I am explicitly going to write the GridView columns, and allow paging equal to false, so that inbuilt paging feature of the GridView will not take effect. So here is my simple GridView. There is no other methods, there is no other event. Very simple. And then what we have done is that we have written one literal control, and I will tell you what is the benefit of this literal control. One very important point to notice here is that there will not be any view state for this GridView as well as this literal control, because I am going to keep enable view state equal to false. See here, for the GridView also I have kept enable view state equal to false, and for the literal control also we have kept enable view state equal to false. And then let me copy paste the code behind. So here is my server side code. Let me copy. I'm going to explain each and every line of code, so even if you are not understanding at the time of copying and pasting, do not worry about that. Yep. And let me see if any paging is creating any problem. Okay, so this is fine. Looks like this is also fine, and this is also fine. Now let me just align this so that it will look nice. Okay, fine. Now do not worry about this piece of code. Just understand that when the page will be loaded for the first time, naturally each post will be false, each post back will be false, and I am calling the bind grid method. So let us go to the bind grid method. Here is the bind grid method, and in this method what we are doing is that we are instantiating the SQL connection, we are instantiating the SQL command, and we are passing load personal details stored procedure here. You will notice that this is the stored procedure, because I have specified here cmd.command type is equal to command type.stored procedure. Now let me show you what is the code of stored procedure. So here is my load personal details stored procedure, as you can see here. Let me show you the code. And this stored procedure basically accepts 3 parameters. The first parameter is a start row index. It means that from which row index I want to start retrieving the record from the database table. Page size is nothing but in one page how many records we want to show into the grid view, and the total count is nothing but the total number of records found for that particular condition, or total number of records found from the stored procedure execution. So these are the 3 parameters that this load personal details stored procedure is accepting. And here in the stored procedure, what we need to do is that whatever start row index we are getting, we need to add 1 on top of that. So for example, if I will get 5 as a start row index, I will write a start row index equal to a start row index plus 1. So we are going to add 1. And then this is the specific type of SQL statement that is used to do custom paginations in SQL Server. The custom pagination stored procedure or the SQL statement varies based on the database you are using. For example, if you are using MySQL, then your SQL statement will be different. If you are using Oracle, then your SQL statement might be different. But here, because I am using SQL Server, so my SQL statement will look like this. So in this, what we are doing is that select all from, and here is the subquery. In this we are saying that select all comma row number over order by auto ID AAC, means select all records from the personal detail and also select a row number over order by auto ID, means order by auto ID in the ascending order, and give me the row number as well, and name that particular row number as ROWNUM column name. And then this complete subquery is being aliased as the people, where row num means this row num between a start row index, means the start row index that is coming, and here we have incremented to 1, and a start row index plus page size, means if 5 is a start row index and page size is 10, then 5 plus 10 means 15 minus 1. Okay, this is what we need to write. And then order by auto ID AAC. Now what is this minus 1 and plus 1? It is simple a logic. And once we have the records that we want to retrieve, then we also need to return the total number of records that will be returned by this particular stored procedure. And this total number of records basically helps us to write the page number link just below the grid view. And then here we are going to get the total number of records. So select at the rate total count equal to count of auto ID from personal detail table. Now in case you have some kind of filtration statement here, for example, you are going to get one more variable here. For example, you are going to get first name. Then you need to write the filter statement here, where first name is equal to first name. We need to add varchar here. So one very important point to note here is that in case you are going to get any filtration parameter, then you need to add the filtration parameter under the subquery itself. You should not write it here. You should write all the filtration parameter under the subquery of the selected statement. So now let me go ahead and see the code behind again. And here what we are doing is that we are passing naturally two input parameter, and you must have noticed that my last parameter, that is total count, is the output parameter. Let me remove it. And here this is the output parameter. So naturally, because the total count is output parameter, so we need to specify the total count as the output parameter, and that I have done using parameter.direction is equal to parameter.direction.output, and then we have added that parameter as well into the SQL command. Once we have all the parameters in SQL command, then we can instantiate the data adapter, the SQL data adapter, and pass the command name as the parameter, and then we can call the fill method that will basically fill the records of the database table to the data table. And then in order to retrieve the output parameter, that is a total count, we need to write param is this parameter, because this is the output parameter, dot value dot toString, and I am just passing to the integer so that I will be able to store into the total count. Fine. Now what we need to do, because this table will have the paginated data now, because that is being returned from this store procedure, so we are directly binding that to the grid view, and then we are calling the data bind method, so that the records of this particular data source will be bounded to the grid. And then once my record is bounded, then we naturally need to write the page numbers. Let me show you the running example first, then it will be easy to understand. So let me run this page here. Here is my grid view. It will come. Yeah, it is coming now. You can see this is the grid view, and here the page numbers are coming. So these page numbers I am basically writing in the literal control, and for that literal control we are calling this here do pagination method by passing the total number of records returned from the database. Now the do pagination method, what it does is that based on the page size we have declared, you can see that I had one page level variable called page size, where I have written 2. It means that in one page I want to display 2 records into the grid view. You can see that in one page 2 records is coming. So what I am doing is that I am dividing total count by the page size, and that will give me the number of pages that I should render here. So total number of record is how many here? Let me show you that personal detail. We have 6 records. So because we have 6 records, so we should have 3 pages here. You can see that page number 1, page number 2, and page number 3. So that's what is happening here. And then I'm using string builder, and string builder is basically help us to concatenate the page number link that I'm going to write it here. You can see these. So what I'm doing is that I'm starting a for loop based on the number of pages we have to loop through, and then we are forming the link, page number link. So I'm writing here ahref custom pagination.aspx start index equal to holder is nothing but holder is nothing but 0 for the first time, and then every count, every loop, it will increment. Holder multiplied by page size and plus page is equal to the holder, means first will be 0, then 1, and then 2, and then I'm writing page number of page. You can see here it is coming page number 1, page number 2, and page number 3. And if we are on the current page, because we are on the first page by default, should not come as a link. You can see here page number 1 is not coming in the link, and then the same is being returned. The whole string, the link string, is being returned, and that is being ultimately set into the literal control text property. That's it. Now you can see that when I will click on page 2, let me show you the URL here. Currently it is default.aspx. So if there will be no record here, no query string on this particular page, then you can see that all the default things will take effect. In case we will click on page number 2, you can notice the status bar. Then you will see that start index is 2 and page is 1 as the query string. So when I am clicking it, you can see that when I clicked it, hold on, please hold on. Looks like the name of the page was different. Here we have default.aspx page, but I have kept custom pagination. So let me remove this so that by default the current page will come. So now when I will refresh, you can see that when I will click on page number 2, you will see that the page will be redirected on the same page with a start index equal to 2 and page is equal to 1. When we are coming with the query string on the same page, then what happens is that it will go to the if it not each post back, because this is not post back, this is simply redirect on the same page. So it will come here and it will check for the start index query string, and if a start index query string is not null or white space, then it comes here and it casts into the integer and store the value of the start index query string to underscore start index variable. And then because we are coming with the page also, so I am retrieving the page query string as well and keeping into the underscore this page variable. So these two variables are being set if we are coming with some query string on this page. Now here I have just checked for the start index query string. Ideally you should check for both query strings because both are important in order to do the custom pagination. And once we have the new value, then again it will call the bind grid method, and the bind grid method, the new value that is coming through the query string for underscore start index and underscore this page will take effect and it will be passed as the input parameter, and the second page will display. You can see that second page displaying, and accordingly the third page and all those pages will be displayed. Now one very important point to note here is that there is no view state here. You can see that I have disabled the view state for the GridView as well as into the literal control. If you go to the source code of this particular page, you will see that there is no view state at all. This view state is the default view state that comes for every page, so we are not going to count this view state. But as far as the view state of GridView is concerned, you can see that there is no view state for the GridView. So the benefit of custom pagination is, first, it makes your application work faster because it doesn't deal with GridView view state, and on top of that you are going to retrieve only that amount of data from the database that is required. You are not going to record the complete data from the database. In this case, if I am clicking on page 2, only these 2 records are coming from the database. 6 records are not coming from the database. So this is the one benefit. The other benefit is that you are going to get the SEO friendly URL, because you can see that all the query strings are here. So all those query strings are treated as a different pages, and user can, or end user can simply copy and give that particular URL to their friend or someone, and they can just paste the URL into the browser address bar and they will be directly going to the same page. If you do the pagination with the inbuilt mechanism of the GridView, you will not be able to achieve this page because that happens with the postback. But in this case, it is not happening with the postback. So this is the benefit of the custom pagination in GridView. And in all real-time applications, it is suggested, I would recommend you to use the custom pagination instead of working with the inbuilt mechanism or inbuilt functionality available in the GridView.